welcome to QETV Live Show with your host, Miss H. Seemed like I've been gone forever. I just was gone last week, but I hope that you tuned in and watched Mr. James Butler, who is a mayoral candidate for mayor of D.C. Remember the election that's coming up November the 6th. He's a write-in candidate. Don't forget to vote for James Butler, mayoral candidate. You must write him in. And speaking of voting, that's so important right now. But I want to first start off by saying thank you for viewing QETV Live Show with your host, Miss H. I am just so excited about our show today. I have my special guest sitting here in the studio with me, but until she comes on, I just want to take this time to say, first of all, that we're just so glad to have you tune in. But right now, what I want you to do, go on your social media handle. I want you to tweet at least 10 people right now. and tell someone that you're watching QETV Live show. I want you to let them know we are live right here on VoxWave.com. You can go to YouTube, put in VoxWave, and subscribe to VoxWave, and you can watch me live every Thursday from 1:30 to 2:30. So stop what you're doing right now. Get on your social media and tweet it out, or go to your Facebook page. Let someone know that Mrs. H is on now, QETV Live. You don't want to miss today's show. My special guest today is, she's registered as a minority-owned female business, so you don't want to miss the show. If you are a person in business out there and you want to know more about the business side of things, or just to understand that you too can become a professional business person. And I want to talk about too, more about QETV Live business networking. In the spring of 2019, we will be having business networking with all the companies and business owners that have come on the show selling their products or providing services for our area. We will be having an exclusive networking show in the spring, and more information to come. But if you're interested in being on the QETV Live show, email me here at QETVLive@gmail.com. Yes, email me, QETVLive@gmail.com, or you can go to my Facebook page, QETV Facebook page, and you can contact me through that. I would love for you to be a part of our networking business workshop that's coming up in the spring. Again, it is important to vote. November the 6th election is coming up, and I can't tell you how important it is. I was looking up last night, November the 6th, the midterm election, and I know this is not a political show, but it is imperative that if you are a U.S. citizen, exercise your right to vote, because if you do not vote, you do not have a voice when it's time for people to begin to sit in these offices and you don't like what's going on. If you don't like what you're seeing right now, then take the time to go to the polls. Maryland, right now, you have until November the 1st for the state of Maryland that you actually can go in person. You still can go in person to your polling office. Call them, get on the website, look up whatever state that you're in. And this is for all of the United States of America. I want everyone, go to the poll. Take someone to the poll with you. It is important that you vote. Please, please get out and vote. Your vote matters. Again, the midterm election is coming up November the 6th. So get out there and vote. I think in Virginia, for the online and in person, that's over right now. Theirs closed in October, but you still may be able to mail in. So go on, you have to go on the website and see what it is, what the requirements are for every state, because every state is different. I do know with Washington, D.C., that last week when Mr. Butler were here, one of the advantages they have, they can literally go all the way up to November the 6th. They literally can walk in the doors that day and register. The only drawback when you walk in that day, you must have a registered ID. You must have a valid ID in order to register on that day, November the 6th. But you actually can walk in the doors and vote that day with a registered valid ID. So again, please, please, please go out and vote. Your vote matters. And as far as the QETV business list, again, If you're interested in joining the QETV business list of business owners, please contact me and I'll be glad to give you all the information. And if you're interested in being a guest on QETV Live show, again, call me 240-353-3806 and I can give you more information. We will be going on a break in a few minutes. I just want to introduce right now my next guest that's coming up. So before I go on that break, go tweet, go Facebook, Instagram, your IG page, whatever social media handle you use, you don't want to miss today's show. Her name is Yolanda Judge. She is the president and proud owner of Arms Contracting, LLC, right here in our own back door. And so you don't want to miss. She's a beautiful young woman. Like I said, she has a lot to offer, and you may need her services. So go let someone know you're watching QETV Live show with your host, Miss H. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back.
So you like smooth jazz? Great. Horn of Plenty, Harvest Harmony from saxophonist Travis Bridges. Smooth jazz and all the sax you'll ever need. Available at travisbridges.com. 786-487-7338. Horn of Plenty from Travis Bridges. All the sax you'll ever need.
Welcome back to QETV Live Show with your host, Miss H. As I promised you, I have in the studio with me today, Miss Yolanda Judge. Welcome, Yolanda, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good. Kind of interesting how we met. Me and my partner, we were out one day looking at some business proposition. Because again, if you want to be a part of the QET Live show as a business owner, you can contact me at QETVLive@gmail.com and we can talk more about it. So we were out doing a business proposition and we were looking at some office space. And who did I run into was Miss Yolanda. And she was so pleasant to me and so nice. And had a beautiful smile, and we asked could we see her office because we were interested in possibly renting an office space there, and she let us in. And once she let me in the door, the questions started from there. And when she told me she was a business owner, of course, my ears perked up, and when she told me what she did, it perked up even more. So you know, enough about me. Let's get right into it. So, Yolanda, you are in the service sector.
Yes.
And it's kind of unusual for me to meet Black-owned minority female in the construction company. You don't see that a lot. Now, tell me how you got started in the, I'm not sure if you private or public sector.
Both.
You're both?
Yes.
Okay, how did you get started in that, and what motivated you, and how did that all originated? Let's go back and do a little history of that.
Back in time.
Okay.
So I was actually in retail management.
Okay.
I was managing a retail store, and it required a lot of hours and a lot of intense work. So I was propositioned by my pastor at the time. He was working as a consultant for a construction company. And he asked, had I ever done anything else other than what I was doing? And of course, the answer was no.
No, okay.
The answer was no, other than college. That was it, just that and the retail store that I was working in. And so he asked, would I be willing to give it a try? He knew that company needed some assistance, and I took a chance.
So this was the construction company at that time?
This was a construction company at the time. They needed someone to market for them. So they worked in the government, and they wanted someone to go out and to basically sell their company for them. So I left my retail management job, and I went to work for Aramis Construction. Is the name of the construction firm. Yes, and I did that. I did marketing for them for a few years, and then my pastor's son started a construction company that's called Fasting Enterprises. And I went there and I did marketing for them as well. And then I became a project manager for them.
Okay.
And I became the vice president of operations for Fasting Enterprises. And so I just gained a lot of experience. During the time I was able to, I went from managing like $350 projects to $1 million projects. So I was able to see a lot of processes, and I was able to take classes, anything I wanted to learn. Of course, they made sure that they took care of me, and they allowed me to go to classes. So it was a really good experience.
Yeah, it sounded like it was it was a process over time. It wasn't like you just jumped into it.
No.
And it wasn't like you were out there with the hard hats, the yellow hats. Did you do that?
No.
Okay.
Well, let me say this. In order to learn, because I'm a very hands-on person, I have to know the ins and outs of everything. So in order to learn, if someone told me that or requested a particular service and I had no idea what it was, I would actually go to the job site.
Oh, you would go to the site.
So I could see and ask questions, ask the guys. And the staff at both the companies that I work for, they were awesome and always willing to show me. So, yeah, some days. And then when I go to check on jobs, I do wear a hard hat and my boots. And
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
but you were blinging them out, huh?
You
were looking good.
I give them a little shine. I shine on them.
Well, let me ask you, being that, back when I was growing up, because you're from the Carolinas, like I'm a Carolina girl.
Carolina girl.
When we were coming up, seeing females in that business was, I wouldn't say completely taboo, but it was you didn't see as many as it is today, because there's a lot of them now taking those as classes and getting into those contracting and construction jobs and building and engineering a lot more than it were 30, 40 years ago. How are you received when you show up and a contractor go, oh, you're Miss Judge? Because even with the last name Judge, even with judges, you're thinking mentally in your mind, a male's going to show up. So how are you received when I know now you're received well because your work precedes you.
Right.
But how were you perceived when you first started showing up?
It was a difficult transition for some people.
Okay.
Particularly, I worked in the government sector a lot. So you had older people who have been in the government for a while.
Long
so it's
time.
Not only that I'm a woman and that I'm African American, but that I'm young.
That you're
so
young,
then that
too.
piece was always like, oh,
wow.
I have children older than you.
So you had a lot of hurdles to overcome.
Yeah, a lot of conversations about my hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So the list just keep going on.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but you know what? I take it in stride because I do realize that I do work in a male-dominated arena.
Sure.
And with that, you have to give and take a little bit, And I know how to handle my own. I'm not timid. I don't back down. I say what I have to say.
But that came with time, though, right?
No.
You
like
you
this all my
jump.
life. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm pretty boisterous about my opinions and stuff. So I can hold my own in any situation. But it's just being tactful and helping people, bring them along, because I understand if I ask for a particular thing and something that I don't have in my mind shows up, then I'm gonna be a little leery too. So you just have to show people what you're talking about, the business, who you are, and we can do this. What do you need me to do?
Now, of course, with this type of industry, of course, you got to know what you're doing. So I heard you mention the word, you took some classes, you were trained. Are there licensing and there are different certifications you got to have as you started and moved along in the process, and now you're own president of your own company? How was that, the process of being certified and getting the licensing that you needed?
So to be a licensed contractor in the state is not very difficult. You can.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's fairly simple. Now, I do have a home improvement license for the state of Maryland. That was a little more difficult. But you study, take a test. Most things that I did, it was either a class or you study on your own and you take a test.
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
And see, you're breaking the barriers right now by telling us that. You hear that, ladies out there that maybe you're looking for a different occupational trade, or you may want to get into that because, hey, there's a lot of money in that field, and we're going to talk about that too. If you know what you're doing and know how, like you says, when they go low, you go high. You know what our First Lady, Michelle Obama always have taught us, and I love that. That phrase that she used, that here I'm thinking it was a lot of schooling and a lot of time that takes place to get approved for licensing and for certification. I really, we're not used to hearing this because you don't meet very many people in those fields and own their own business. They usually are, like you said, out in the field helping someone else who own the company. But for you to tell us that, not saying that it was easy, because nothing is easy. I don't care if you're just getting your 6-week CNA license or however it takes, you still got to study and apply yourself. But to say it's something that can be done, would you say in less than a year if you apply yourself, or 2 years at the max?
Absolutely. Yes. If you study and apply yourself, anything is possible. And I'm an information receiver by nature. I need to know all informations, all bits, pieces, and crevices. So it's a little easier for me because I want to know everything. Sometimes people don't really want to know. They just kind of want to do. So that may be a little more difficult if you're that type of person. But the information is out there. I was on a call this morning, and the person leading the call, shout out to Katrina Judge, said that we're really in the information overload. So it's not about the information that you get; it's about how you apply it.
How you apply
it. If you're going to apply it, doesn't matter. You can know everything in the world, but if you don't do anything with that knowledge, then you're not going to go anywhere. And that's kind of what I do. I just take the information that I learn and I try to put it out there because there's no need for me to hold it all in.
Sure. And I love the fact that you say you're thorough and you're concise, because we all know in this business, if you are not thorough and concise, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble and a lot of insurance violation and building. So that's part of, I think, is OSHA. Is that another certification you got to have?
Regulations, yes,
OSHA regulation. And you got to carry high insurance for liability and things like that.
Yes. Yeah, okay. It is a pretty, it could be a dangerous arena to work in.
Because one wrong person can put your business under.
Yeah. But you have to take time to get to know the people that you're hiring and get to know your workers and set a standard, because people will most people will try to live up to a standard, but if you don't give any, they're going to do whatever they want to do. But, so we try to make sure the employees are always safe, that they know that safety is important, so that when they go out on a job, that they are exemplifying what it is that we want them to, not just out here acting all willy-nilly, and all that good stuff.
So run us through, if a client, because I'm not sure with you in the service, you public and private sector, run us through what type of services do you offer to your client in both the public and the private sector?
So in the construction, so I do two separate things. I do consulting and I also do construction services.
Okay.
So in the construction arena, whether it's private or public, it's government or residential.
And that's what I'm going to say. Break it down to people.
It's basically the same, or commercial. It's basically the same thing. So whether it's someone's home, someone's business, or a government facility.
Okay.
It's almost the same thing. You go in, most customers know what they want when they come to you. So if it's a residential person, maybe they want their bedroom painted. Or if it's commercial, maybe they want the building painted. And if it's an office space for the government, maybe they want the office space painted. But it's still painting.
Bottom line is
you go
painting.
at it the same way, right?
Okay.
The services are the same. So we do painting, drywall, flooring, electrical, mechanical work, any installation, acoustical ceilings, any of that, even in any arena.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you actually can do start to finish. Like if a client hire you on, you have enough contractors that if they said, I just want an overhaul of everything, like a complete gut out.
Absolutely.
You do it all.
Absolutely.
Do you do the demolitions too?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Everything. Start to finish.
Start to finish.
That's what they call it in construction, turnkey.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. Yes. I'm sitting beside someone. I've always thought, I'm going to have to go out with you one day.
Come on.
I've always wanted to see some of the demolition. Because, again, guys get to sometimes have a feel of all it is and see it. And to me, it's a little power. I like it because it's like you can determine, no, I want to blow this sucker up. I want it to come down. I just love the sound of it. I mean, I know I sound a little bit facetious right now, but just to know that you control that and that you have the ability to do it. Tell us about some of your service projects, some of the projects you have done and handled, and some of the testimonials that people have come back with you on.
Okay, so on the construction side, of course, like I said, I've done very small projects where we go in and if you need a whiteboard, like, the boards with the markers, we can hang those up for you.
Oh, and so there's never a job too small.
Too small.
Wow.
There's nothing
I like
too small.
that.
Nothing too small. So, or if you want a lock change, we can do that for you as well. And then I've also, like you said, done total renovations for whole floors and some government facilities where we go in and we demo everything. We build new walls, put down new carpet, do asbestos abatement if necessary.
Oh, okay.
Do new ceilings, put in heating units. So just new lights, new power on the walls that we have to build.
Okay.
So we can do pretty much anything.
So I see now how the consulting part works because a company have to call you, schedule an appointment, and consult with you what needs to be done.
Well, so on the consulting side, it's a little different. So what I've been doing has been helping other small businesses who want to be certified in different classes, help them to go through their certification process. So, for instance, if someone wants to be woman-owned, or if they're a veteran and they have a company and they want to certify with the government, then I do that. Or some socioeconomical classes that are disadvantaged.
Mm-hmm.
They have a program called the 8-Day program, so I can help certify people in that. I've also helped people kind of just gather their thoughts, basically. I'm really good at helping people figure out what it is that they're trying to get across. So sometimes people have mumbled ideals. So I kind of help people walk through the process of what is it that you're really trying to achieve, and then help people formulate their business around what their actual goal is versus just out here willy-nilly doing whatever.
So apart from the
construction,
you can also do business consulting.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. So you're a jack of all trades coming here. Now, I also saw that you were a part of a lot of organizations. Tell us about the minority-owned women association that you're a part of?
So that's a certification. It's not an actual association, but I'm certified through the federal government as a minority-owned business, a minority-owned woman business.
Okay.
Yes. So it's just a certification process.
Would you recommend that if a female is in business to be a part of it?
Yes, to be certified, particularly if you want to go after government contracting.
Okay.
They have programs where they will look at women-owned businesses first.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, that's the purpose of getting certified. Yeah.
So does it matter what type of business, just as long as you are in business and you're female, you can apply?
Mm-hmm. You own 51% of your company.
Oh, okay. And is there a certain amount of employees, or you can be...
The requirements are different per arena.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but if the major requirement is 51% of the customer, you can go on and certify as a woman-owned.
Oh, I like
business.
that.
Small, if depending on your size. But there's size standards.
So just is, I know a lot of people usually join their local chamber, but that organization, the female organization for minority-owned, for female businesses, that's an added plus for you to be a part of that too. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And I do intend to join my chamber. I just haven't yet. But it is on my list of things.
Okay, but I mean, if you went to the top and starting down at the bottom,
well, no, it's all,
well,
relative.
and it's also too. Each one of them come with I'm sure, a yearly fee
different.
too, and they also have something different.
Yeah.
So they're not free to be a part of.
I know that chambers are not free.
Right.
To be a part
Yeah.
of
All of them have a fee behind it. Okay. What some of your experiences? Tell us one of your services that you provided that you were really proud of, and you would like, this is my signature. Like, why would people hire you to work for them or to give you their service? Like, tell us some of your things that set you apart from other contractors.
Okay. So you asked a lot of questions in that one little breath. All right, let me see. Let me tackle the first one. Okay, so a really good project for me. Let's see. They're all good.
Well, can they go on your website and see some of the companies and pictures of things that you have done?
They can go on Arms Contracting, LLC, .thebluebook.com to find my company.
Now, what's the Blue Book? Is that like the Kelly Blue Book, like they do for
cars? It's not the car Blue Book, but it is the construction Blue Book.
It's the construction
Absolutely.
Blue Book.
Everything construction is
I like
there.
that.
Everything construction
So
is
you
there.
got to be a part of that too.
Yes. So,
see?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Them dollars.
I like that.
So everything construction is on the Blue Book, but I am on the Blue Book. I have a Pro View there where you can go and check out my
What
site.
do you call it, a Pro View?
Pro View, yes. That's
oh,
what it's called.
okay.
Yeah. So that's their webpage.
That's their webpage,
so
okay.
You can find me there. And so I think the most proud project I've been, I did, it was a government contract.
Okay.
And we had to renovate an entire floor. And the customer is a great customer.
Okay.
And so we had a lot of challenges with the project, but one of the things that I pride myself on is just what I told you, is that I'm really good with helping people figure out what it is that they're really trying to do. And sometimes that takes, when people want something, they have a idea, but they don't really know what it takes to get there.
Sure.
So I kind of help walk through that process. Yeah, and explain to people why what they think doesn't really work.
Yeah,
because sometimes you have something fixated in your mind and you just want it, but it doesn't really go with the totality of what you're trying to do. So I think that was a really good project because I was able to work through a number of conflicts.
Oh, okay.
With not only because I wasn't the only contractor, and it was different because there were contractors contracted by different people. So we all had to work together on the project. So everybody was coming from a different angle.
Okay.
And everybody kind of wanted their agenda to be pushed. But I got to work with a lot of extraordinary people. And I learned a lot of things in that project about myself and how I can better serve people. And that's ultimately what I want to do. I want to service my customer. I want them to be so happy when they are finished.
That
when we
service,
show them
though.
the product, the finished product. Like, I want them to walk in and just be in awe, because that's what I like. When I get something done at my house, I just want to be like, oh my God.
Well, that sounds
so
like,
amazing.
to me, you're describing, I call it your business signature, that when I see something you've done, or you stand back and look at something you've done, you like to be able to be proud of it.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people could care less. They do the job, they get their check, they're gone. Oh. And it's up to you, you know, if you don't like it. But to me, that's how businesses used to be in the past. People were proud of their trade. They were proud of their businesses. First of all, they were proud of their name, of who they were, you know, and what it is that they've done. And they would not do a half job. I'm not going to say what my mom used to say. They wouldn't do a half job, but they would do something that they literally could say they were proud of. And then when you make people happy and people are satisfied, they're going to tell somebody.
Exactly.
So now I don't know if your service industry, it sounds almost like it's confidentiality, because I noticed that I don't hear any of the names that you're putting out there or names on your website. So is that part of the safety rules in the contracting, that you're not supposed to disclose who your partnerships are?
Depending on the client. Some of them you can't.
You can't disclose. Okay. Okay. So there's a confidentiality. Now, you mentioned the other part, that sometimes you're not the only contractor that shows up. There's multiple contractors. How do you keep up with who's to blame if a building crack, you know, or collapse? Like we saw the other day on the internet, the people was celebrating in this building and the entire floor collapsed. Thousands of people. To me, they were jumping too hard. But then someone said
that should not cause the floor to collapse.
But if you got 500 people in a building and they jumping up and down,
ma'am, no. Whoever built your floor, there's some problem.
500 people jumping all at one time.
Unless it's a shack.
Oh,
what kind of place was it?
It was a professional building. It was they were celebrating a football game. It was a college team that had won. I don't know if it was Kentucky or Michigan or what college team won, but they were having an after party, and they were inside of one of the buildings, and it was looked like about 500 people or more, and they were all just shouting because, you know, their team had won, and, you know, just partying. All of a sudden, about 300 people dropped, like, bam, right in the middle. And they was taking people out on stretchers. They said no one seriously were injured, but there was a lot of minor injuries. Because, I mean, you fell onto soft bodies, too. But the people, I'm sure, that was at the bottom of the pile probably was the ones who got the injury. But no, you can go on the YouTube now, watch it. They captured it live. I mean, floor collapsed. So when you have multiple contractors like that on a huge project, do everyone have the line in which they are accountable for another segment, and then you're not to blame if something happens?
So everybody is responsible for a thing. So if you are in the contract that I was talking about, we were the GC over the construction services. So we had electricians, HVAC people with us. We had people who did blinds, that type of stuff. So everybody knows what you're responsible for.
Okay.
So like some of the other contractors, there was a flooring contractor that was there. There was a furniture contractor that was there. There was a asbestos contractor. So if, say for instance, someone got sick because asbestos was there. Well, that's probably not a good example, but I'm going to say it anyway. If someone got sick because asbestos was there, then that person, the asbestos contractor, would be responsible for it. But because it wasn't under my purview, I wouldn't have been responsible for it. And I said it's not a good example because I have to build on top of. So they probably would have tried to say, you saw it there, you build on top of it anyway.
Really?
So, that could be a great line. But either way, but that's how you know, because you know what it is that you're there for, and you know the things that you're responsible for, and everybody is held accountable for what they're responsible for. Now, one of the things that happened on that particular job was the furniture contractor, who was not with my group, did a lot of damage to the walls when they moved the furniture in. And we did the walls. So that was a little back and forth. So it was a lot of little, things that happened throughout the project, but it went well. The customer was satisfied at the end.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's always good.
Yeah.
So what is it like when you go into a project like that and you have a lot of people, do you sign off once you finish so that once they sign off, your work is done?
Yes.
Or you wait until the building is complete?
Well, you sign off per section. So that it's done. This particular project was in 4 phases. So after each phase you sign off and make sure it was done, and then you sign off for the entire project at the end of the
What's
project.
the most important phase? Like, what's the what would you call it? The hierarchy of each phase, like, because everybody says their job is more important than anyone else. I used to remember that in school. Every time I would go to a class, some teachers would say, well, science is more important than math. They would make you feel that way. And then the math teacher said, well, if you don't learn math, I don't know how you're going to ever get a job in life. And then the history teacher says, well, if you don't know your history, then, you're just as,
Right.
So everybody want their knowledge to be the most important.
Right.
Is there a hierarchy in construction?
In my opinion, it is the design of the project. Because if you have a good design, you can build anything.
Wow,
but if you have
a
screwed up design, you're going to have a lot of questions. You're going to have a lot of things left to people's interpretation. You want to have a really good detailed design. You want to have a clear understanding of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Just like in life, have a clear understanding of what it is that your destination. Another thing from the call this morning.
Destination.
Perfectly fit together. Yes, you got to know your destination.
That. You got to know.
Then you know what it is, and you can maneuver within that, but you have to know what the goal is so that you can accomplish it.
And find your lane and stay in it, huh?
Absolutely.
And not trying to tell someone else what they need to do.
Yeah.
But there may be times where you may have to speak up.
You can suggest.
Oh, so that's what y'all would call it.
If it's not my lane.
Oh.
So if you see something, particularly when you're working with other contractors, like in that instance, if I saw something and I knew that it would cause them problems later on, ultimately they're responsible for it. So my suggestions are just to help you as a fellow laborer. Like I see this is an issue.
Okay.
You might want to address it. If you don't, somebody will address it with you, but I'm trying to save you
there are
from
times
that.
when you have done that.
Absolutely.
So it's almost like a brother sisterhood. Once you get to know each other as contractors, like you're all in it together, you get to know each other and you work together well.
And everybody doesn't work together well, and everybody doesn't have your back. So that's something else that I've learned. You look out for yourself, but because I am the person that I am, I'm going to look out for you too.
I think that's that good Southern hospitality. We just have
Jesus.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's true too. Well, you want people, like you said, at the end of the day, you want them happy. Right. And sometimes having your client happy supersedes your personal feeling about another person. So
Absolutely.
That's the biggest take on it. And we're going to take another station break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to get into the money side to see if a person wanted to get into this field or this business, or if they're interested, is it really something that monetary-wise is something you would be interested in doing? I like it already. I'm saying to myself, I think it's something that females now do not have to fear. They can get themselves, they can look at it, take a look at it, see if it's something you want to do, because the sky is the limit now. We are not in an age where, you know, you have a line where these are the male dominant jobs over here and the female dominant jobs, and you can't cross over. You can do and you can be anything you want to be. And that's the reason why I'm so impressed with Yolanda today, because she took an opportunity and turned it into a corporation. You know, she went from here and now she's up here, and she's sharing nuggets and wisdom on what you can do and how you can make it. And for those out there, if you're interested in buying a building and you don't know what to do with it, or you inherit a house or some property and you want to renovate or remodel, she's here for you to provide those services for you. And that's what it's all about. I don't care if you're interested in starting a school, a daycare. A lot of times people will go and get property that is run down, and they're like, you know, I always say, don't look at the way it is. Bring in someone that can show you the potential of a building. And she can consult. She can go and look at the property and tell you if it's really worth it. If you are thinking about investing in some business property and you want to know what would it take to get this property up to speed, and is it worth having it, putting some money into it, we're going to tell you how to contact Yolanda. Let her come out. Let her wear the yellow hat. I want to see her in the yellow hat.
It's orange.
It's orange now.
Yeah,
it's not yellow. It's orange.
One.
Oh, I like that. She's going to tell you how she will come out and help you make those intelligent business decisions that can turn your property in something that you want it to be. How exciting. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. welcome back to QETV Live Show with your host, Miss H. Right before the break, Yolanda and I was just discussing what color hats. Again, I said yellow, she says orange, and then the engineer says, but there's white. Tell us the diversity of these hats. Oh, wait a minute. We have a caller. Caller?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What is your name?
My name is Bud Judge.
Bud Judge. Okay. And Bud, what is your question?
My question is, what inspired Yolanda Judge to take it to this level?
What inspired her?
Yep.
Okay, then let's ask Yolanda. Yolanda, Mr. Bud said, what inspired you to this level?
Wow.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You're going to have to turn your volume down a little bit. I hear someone in the background.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I believe, well, first of all, I wasn't really inspired to do it. It was really an opportunity, and I was like, yeah, let me do it. Because I wanted. At the time, I have a 15-year-old son. He's amazing. His name is Caleb.
I like that name, Caleb.
Yes. So Caleb was really small, and I was working a lot of hours. So I did want to spend more time with him, and also I was new to Maryland. So thank God I found an awesome babysitter, but he was still with someone that he wasn't familiar with just yet, so he was small, and I missed a lot of time with him because I worked so much. So that's why I took the opportunity, because I wanted a better life for him, and the chance to have weekends off.
Sure.
I've never had weekends off. I work in retail.
Oh,
management.
yeah, retail.
I work weekends, holidays. It's, it's a madhouse. So that was the first step. But then it's just really been a faith walk since then, because my eyes have been open to what's out there. So I never, when I was younger, thought that my life would look the way that it looks now. So as I see more, I'm inspired to be more, because I know that there is more out there, as opposed to being in a closed world and kind of not knowing that, you see it on TV, but you don't really know that it's real and you can really obtain it. So the more I see, the more I aspire to be, because I'm like, I can do this.
Sure.
Why not?
Well, that sounds enough inspiration right there, Mr. Bud Judge. That's enough inspiration right there. That her son, her son by himself is enough inspiration for a mom to want more time. We need mothers thinking like that more. More time with her son and those weekends, because you're absolutely right. The retail industry, as a matter of fact, they're gearing up for that now.
Absolutely.
Starting, because I used to work retail years ago, but starting October to December, you're going to work pretty much 40, 50, 60 hours a week. So that's enough inspiration. And I also see from Katrina Judge, she is giving some comments here. Katrina, if you're out there, feel free to call in at 240-719-2560. But thank you for your comments. You say she's been outspoken all her life. I can tell. She sounds like she know what she wants, and that she do not mind speaking up and letting someone know. Well, Bud, we thank you for your question. Did you have another question?
No, I just wanted to say that, Yolanda, you are an inspiration to me, and I am so proud of you and everything that you're doing. You give me motivation every day. Thank you for your time and for having her on your show.
Sure. Awesome. I appreciate that. She is awesome. And not only that, I feel like that when we find our calling and when we find our purpose, that's the inspiration, other inspiration piece, that now you become that inspiring piece for others to look up to you, because we never know how we inspire others till we get out there and get in our calling, in what we call it, our lane, our purpose, what God has called us to do. So I'm really glad. And that's why it's been not going to say it's been easy, but that's why it's been a cakewalk or been a faith walk for you, and that the doors continue to open because you found a place. You see that it's inspired by your Creator, and that He's been making that provision every step of the way. So that's really something to be inspired about. The other thing I wanted to ask you is that, a lot of times, like you says, people can say, is there money in this business? How do you get your clients? Like, I know you did marketing for your pastor when you first started, but now you have to do your own marketing, your own managing, your own consulting. How is that going for you now? How do you market?
So the same way I did for someone else. You take the same principles. That apply. You can do it for somebody else. You can do it for yourself.
I love that philosophy.
Yes. So I reach out to, because I've gained a lot of relationships since I had been working over the last 8 years in the government sector. So I've been reaching out to those people, letting them know the company that I came from, Fasting Enterprises. Shout out to the Allens. They are an awesome family and very supportive of what I'm trying to do. So they follow up with the people that I've been able to be in contact with through them, and let them know, hey, yeah, she's doing it.
You got another call. Somebody got another question for you. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
And may I ask your name? What is your name?
My name is Katrina Judge.
Oh, this is Katrina. Hi, Katrina.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in to QETV Live show. Do you have a question for Yolanda?
I have a question for Miss Yolanda.
Okay.
Yes, one of the questions that I have for her was, did she ever, what is her end goal? Do she feel like she has an end goal, or is she still, still opening up as she proceeds? I know she has goals because she is a driven goal child. So I know she has goals, but how important is the goals in the particular, where she at right now? Does she have a point where she will say, this is where I will say I have arrived, or did she take the ceiling off?
Okay, I like that question. So, Yolanda, what do your next 3 to 5 years look like? Where are you going to go from here?
So, my goal for ARMS is, of course, to continue to grow it. My son, like I said, is 15. He is right now considering doing some engineering type stuff.
Oh, I like that.
Not sure that he likes it just yet, but I think he's gonna like it. So my I guess end goal for construction is to create a space where he can have an inheritance, that there's legacy there, that we as a family make our mark on the earth. My sister helps me tremendously with my company.
Shout out to your sister.
All right, yeah. And then I have another sister. She's on Sister Taina. What we call it.
Okay.
She's in HR. Yeah. So I have a great tribe. My family's calling in, but I am trying to do something extraordinary for our family.
I love it
because we have so much to give. And I kind of feel like sometimes we've been bottled up. My brother Bud, who called in, he's an artist. He's an amazing artist. And we have so much to give. And now that I have been exposed to things, I'm trying to create something that'll bring the people along that want to come. And most of my family, they want to come. They on board. So I am trying to create that avenue so that not only Caleb, but my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, my sister's grandchildren, my sister's great-grandchildren, all of us, that we're all going to do it big, because we only really succeed if the people around us succeed. I'm not a one-woman show. I don't want to just do this for myself or just for me and Caleb. It's about my legacy. I want people to know that I came and I did something that was noteworthy on the earth, that I lived out my purpose, that God is pleased with what I did, and that people, it continues to go on from generation to generation. That's really my end game. Construction, I want to leave something for Kay, for sure, but there's so many other things that I do. Like, I'm just thinking legacy all around.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Actually, Yolanda, that was a great question you asked her, because actually that's the way we're supposed to live our life. We're supposed to live our life where we're passing on our legacy to our children's children. If we're not doing that, then we're not obeying the purpose in which we were created for, because the sky is the limit. I always tell my people that however far, God says you can have your heart's desire, and nothing is impossible with him. So to me, if you continue down that lane where you're going and you keep that same mindset, the sky is the limit. And you're actually doing exactly what you were created to do, to leave an inheritance to your children's children. The construction is just a tool. It's just an avenue for you to use for your gift to flow through. And as long as you stay humble and keep that mindset, the sky's the limit where you can go. Wow. Tell the viewers how they can get in contact with you, and how, if they want to use your services, your consulting business, how they can get a hold of you, your telephone number, your social media handle, and any other upcoming things that are going on with you. Okay.
So you can get in contact with me, again, by sending a message through my ProView, which is armscontractingllc.thebluebook.com. You can also get in contact with me via email, yolanda@armscontracting.com. I am on social media, but my personal pages, so you can hit me up on social media. Yolanda L. Judge on Facebook, and at Appointed Life on Instagram. I have, what's coming up? I'm just doing great things. Follow me.
Just follow you.
Yeah, follow me.
Yeah, follow you.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Where are you located? Like, do you come, if they want you to come out to visit their company? Do you do on-site consulting, or do they have to come to your office?
No. I'll come out to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm in Waldorf, but if someone wants to come to my office, that's
okay.
fine.
Tell them where you're at in Waldorf.
Yeah, I'm at 3195 Old Washington Road in Waldorf, Maryland, Suite 223. You can check me out there. We are open from 8 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. We are in the spot. If I'm not there, my beautiful sister is in the building to take care of your needs. But yeah, and I'm always available via email. Always, you can look me up on thebluebook.com. And social media, I'm always on Instagram, not Facebook so much. So yeah, at Appointed Life.
That's beautiful. Well, Yolanda, thank you so much for being a guest, my special guest on QETV Live show with your host, Miss H. Thank you for viewing today. Again, if you're interested in having Yolanda come out, do some consulting, looking at some property, or providing her extraordinary service, her personalized service that she puts her own signature on, please contact Arms Contracting LLC. You can visit her on her IG page, as she said, or the Blue Book. Tell me what that...
Bluebook.com.
Bluebook.com.
Yes. Arms Contracting
and
LLC.
You can get Arms Contracting. Please give her a call or hit her up on any of her social media and give her the opportunity to show you what she can do. And again, thank you for viewing QETV Live show with your host, Miss H. Have a wonderful day. Mwah. Love you.